Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a case study that I think is really relevant to especially HR leaders.
Hmm.
Folks who are dealing with all the challenges of running HR departments.
Yeah.
And it's about a medium-sized healthcare provider and some of the things that they did to kind of overcome some pretty common HR problems.
Yeah, I think a lot of our listeners are going to relate to this story,
For sure.
especially if they're, working with limited budgets and IT resources,
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
Well, this company, they really wanted to improve their employee experience,
Yeah.
but they ran into a problem that I think we've all faced at some point,
Mm-hmm.
which is they had to wait on their internal IT team to develop the tools that they needed,
Right.
which can take forever.
It really can.
And so they decided to take matters into their own hands.
And that's where things get really interesting.
For sure.
They really embraced this idea of citizen development,
Oh, yeah.
where they empowered their HR team to just build their own solutions.
So let's dive into some of the specifics here. This healthcare provider, they were facing a number of issues. Inefficient processes, employees struggling to find the information they needed,
Yeah.
and just an overloaded HR department.
Right.
Just a lot of frustration all around.
Absolutely. And that's a pattern that we see so often. And it doesn't seem to be unique to any one company or any one industry.
Yeah.
You see this across the board. Whenever IT resources are really stretched thin, the HR initiatives often get pushed to the back burner. And that just creates a ripple effect, all across the organization.
So instead of waiting around, forever, they partnered with Exult Global to develop a self-service employee portal using Microsoft Power Platform.
Yeah, and this is a great example of how low-code platforms are really changing the game for HR.
Absolutely.
Because these platforms are designed to be so user-friendly. Even if you're not, a coding expert,
Yeah.
you can still build really powerful solutions.
For sure.
And it allows these HR departments to be so much more agile and responsive to their employees' needs.
And this wasn't just some simple Band-Aid solution.
Right.
This was a comprehensive platform that covered a huge range of HR needs.
Mm-hmm.
And it really streamlined a lot of those, processes that take so much time and effort for everyone involved.
What I find so fascinating is how this kind of approach can really empower employees while at the same time freeing up HR professionals to focus on that more strategic work.
Yeah,
It's a win-win situation.
absolutely. So let's break down exactly how they built this portal.
Okay.
They leveraged some key components within the Microsoft Power Platform.
Mm-hmm.
First up, we've got Power Automate.
Right, and that was really the engine behind a lot of the portal's automated features.
Yeah.
So, for example, it allowed employees to request leave or update their personal information or even access their pay stubs, all without having to go through HR.
Nice.
So, it just streamlined all of those, essential but time-consuming processes.
Yeah, that's key. And to create a really user-friendly experience, they used Power Pages.
Power Pages, yeah,
Yeah.
that allowed them to design really visually appealing and intuitive web pages that employees could access on any device, whether it's, a laptop, a tablet, a smartphone.
Yeah.
That kind of accessibility is so critical in today's mobile workforce.
Of course, no data-driven HR initiative would be complete without the power of Power BI.
Right. Power BI provided the HR team with, these data-driven insights into how employees were actually using the portal.
Yeah.
So they could track, key metrics like portal visits, what features were most popular, and even employee satisfaction, which allowed them to just, continuously improve the platform and make sure it was really meeting their employees' needs.
But they didn't stop there. They took things a step further by integrating an AI-powered chatbot
Okay.
using Microsoft Copilot
Wow.
to act as a 247 virtual HR assistant.
Oh, that's a game changer.
Right.
Think about it. An employee has a question about their benefits at 10 p.m. on a Sunday.
Right.
Instead of having to wait until Monday morning to contact HR, they can just get an instant answer from this chatbot.
So it's all about providing employees with the information they need whenever they need it.
Exactly.
And this wasn't just, a simple basic FAQ bot.
Yeah.
This was powered by some serious AI.
Microsoft Copilot brings such a new level of sophistication to the table
Yeah.
because it's got this natural language understanding that allows it to understand these complex questions
Right.
and have more open-ended conversations.
It's not just about spitting out pre-programmed answers.
Exactly.
This chatbot can learn and adapt over time.
Right, and its knowledge base is constantly expanding,
Yeah.
which means it can address a wider range of questions and scenarios.
For sure.
And it's also available in multiple languages,
Nice.
which is essential for, companies with these diverse workforces.
So we've got this amazing self-service portal, a super smart AI chatbot, in a company that's clearly ready to innovate.
Yeah.
But what was the real impact of all this?
Well, for employees, it meant they had more power
Yeah.
and a much better overall experience.
Mhm.
They could access information, they could manage their HR needs really easily,
Yeah.
and that just boosted their satisfaction.
Right.
And meant they weren't relying on HR as much for every little thing.
And for the HR department.
Yeah, it was like a breath of fresh air.
Yep.
They were suddenly freed from all those, constant routine questions.
Right.
And could really focus on strategic initiatives.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is what I find so exciting about this case study. It just shows how technology can empower both the employees and the HR professionals
Right.
and really lead to a more engaged and efficient organization
Absolutely.
and ultimately a more successful organization.
For sure.
But there's even more to unpack here, so stick with us
Yeah.
as we continue to explore the impact of this transformation and what it means for the future of HR.
Yeah, this is just the beginning.
That's right.
What's really interesting about this story is it's not just, a one-off success.
Right.
It actually highlights a much bigger trend that we're seeing all across different industries.
Yeah.
HR departments are really starting to embrace technology to streamline their operations and create a better experience for their employees.
It feels like we're entering like a new era for HR,
Yeah.
moving away from these like old manual processes and really embracing, the power of automation and AI.
It's about time. HR professionals are so valuable.
Yeah.
Their time is much better spent on strategic initiatives,
For sure.
not getting bogged down with these administrative tasks.
Right.
By automating those routine things, HR can really focus on what matters most,
Yeah,
their people.
absolutely. So let's zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture here.
Okay.
What does this shift toward citizen development and self-service in HR really mean for the future of the field?
Well, one of the biggest things I think is that HR departments are going to need to become a lot more tech savvy.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean everyone needs to be a coder,
Right.
but it does mean developing,
yeah.
a deeper understanding of these low-code platforms and how to use them.
So it's about developing like a new set of skills.
Yeah.
It's kind of this like hybrid approach where you've got that traditional HR expertise combined with this more data-driven, tech-forward mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
HR professionals need to be able to, identify opportunities for automation, design these user-friendly interfaces,
Right.
analyze data to track performance, and collaborate effectively with IT to make sure everything's integrating smoothly.
That's such a good point. It seems like this could actually elevate the role of HR within organizations.
Absolutely.
Allowing them to contribute at a more strategic level.
Yeah, instead of just being this administrative function, HR can really become a strategic partner in driving these business outcomes.
Yeah.
Imagine HR leading the charge on things like talent development, employee engagement,
Yeah.
shaping the company culture, all powered by data.
That's a powerful vision
It is.
for the future of HR.
Yeah.
And, it's like a call to action, I think, for all the HR leaders listening.
Yeah.
Like, don't wait for IT to come to you.
Yeah, go out and grab it.
Take the initiative.
Right.
Explore these low-code platforms.
Yeah.
See how you can empower your team and your employees.
I totally agree. And there are so many resources available now to help, HR departments get started with this stuff. Like Microsoft has extensive training and support for their Power Platform. And there are countless other platforms and resources out there.
Yeah. And the benefits are clear, right? Streamlined processes, reduced costs, improved employee satisfaction, a more strategic HR function.
Yeah, and beyond all those practical benefits,
Yeah.
I think there's something really profound about this whole shift. It's really about, HR taking control,
Yeah.
embracing innovation and leading the way
Right.
into a future where technology and human expertise can work together
Yeah.
to create a better workplace for everyone.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
This deep dive has been so insightful so far.
it has.
But we're not done yet.
Nope.
We still need to dig into some of the more practical steps
Yeah.
HR leaders can take to get started on this journey. So for all those HR leaders listening who are, ready to jump into this new era,
Yeah.
what are some practical steps they can take to get started?
Well, I think the first step is, do your research.
Okay.
Take some time to explore, all the different low-code platforms out there. See which ones align best with your organization's needs and your, technical capabilities.
It's about finding the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I imagine that trying before you buy is, like, super important.
Oh, absolutely. Most platforms offer free trials or demos.
Nice.
Don't be afraid to just experiment a little bit.
Yeah.
See what works best for your team.
For sure. And remember, you don't have to do everything all at once.
Right.
You can start small.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say, start by identifying one specific pain point in your HR processes.
Yeah.
Maybe something that's really manual or time-consuming.
Yeah.
And see if you can build a simple solution using a low-code platform.
That's a great idea.
It's a good way to kind of get your feet wet
Yeah.
and prove the value of this approach.
And speaking of stakeholders, I imagine that getting IT involved early on is, like, pretty essential.
Oh, collaboration with IT is crucial.
Yeah.
Work with them to establish some clear guidelines and governance around citizen development. Make sure everyone understands the security protocols,
Right.
data privacy integration requirements.
It's about empowering HR,
Yeah,
but not creating, like a shadow IT department.
exactly right.
Yeah. So it's about finding that balance
Right.
between, innovation
Right.
and making sure you implement things responsibly.
Yep.
And of course, we can't forget about the people side of this.
Absolutely.
Change management is so important
Yeah.
with any new technology.
Engage your employees early on.
Okay.
Explain the benefits of these new tools. Provide training and support. Make
Yeah.
sure everyone feels comfortable using them.
Yeah, it's all about creating that culture of learning and collaboration.
Exactly.
And for those HR leaders who might be feeling a little overwhelmed by all of this,
Understandable.
what resources are available to kind of help them navigate this new world?
Oh, there's so much support out there.
Okay, good.
You've got online communities, forums, consultants specializing in citizen development,
Yeah.
HR technology,
Right.
comprehensive training programs from companies like Microsoft.
So it's about tapping into that collective wisdom.
Yeah.
The people who've been there and done that.
Exactly. Surround yourself with people who can support you, answer questions,
Right.
help you overcome challenges.
This is a journey. It is. And having, that strong support system makes such a difference.
Absolutely.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Right.
The future of HR is, definitely tied to technology.
Mm-hmm.
But at its heart, it's still about people.
I couldn't agree more.
Right.
It's about using technology to improve the human experience, not to replace it.
Yeah.
It's about creating these workplaces where people feel valued,
Yeah.
empowered.
Connected.
Yeah, and it's about, using data to make better decisions,
Right.
but never losing sight of the individuals.
Yeah.
The human impact behind the numbers.
That's where the magic happens.
That's it.
Finding that balance
It's-
between technology and human touch.
It's where the real transformation happens.
Yeah. Well said. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today.
It's been a pleasure.
It's clear that the future of HR is really bright, full of opportunity.
It is.
So to all of our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the future of HR. We hope you found it valuable and inspiring.
Yeah.
Now go out there and make some magic happen.
Do it.